Hi everyone, welcome to the Wargaming Parrot. I am David, I'm here with Chip and Fish, and today we're going to be talking about cockatiel sounds and their meanings. Now this has been highly requested as a video, both in comments on our Insta, on my personal Insta, on Chip and Fish's Insta, so I thought I'd get around to making it. Now unlike my behaviour video, this is going to have commentary because I feel that the sounds they make do need to be explained. So I'm going to talk you through them and then I'm going to show you examples like I do with all my videos so you can see exactly what the sounds look like. So firstly, we have flock calling. Now flock calling is the most common sound a cockatiel will make. Cockatiels make this sound to kind of check in with each other or check in with you if you don't have another cockatiel in the house. Both male and female cockatiels make this sound, so it's one of the most common sounds they make. It can come in slight variances, like different tones and pitches, but generally it's something that will all be consistent amongst all cockatiels. So why do they make it? As I mentioned, it's to check in. They may make it when they're a little bit alarmed, which I'll cover a little bit later. Hello fish. And they may make it if they're calling to you because you've left the room, and it may get more frequent or more urgent if this is the case. So cockatiels always make this sound, and it's also important to bear in mind when they're making a sound, how they're making it, because you can kind of tell things about their mood, whether they're relaxed, whether something's alarmed them, or whether they're a bit worried about you not being around with them. My next sound is baby noises. Now I thought it was very important to include this one, as so many people sort of message us wondering what is this sound, what is going on. I'd also like to thank our friends at Paws and Feathers who donated the clips of their little babies, because we forgot to take our ones when they were that little, and I'd highly recommend you check out their channel because it's very good. So why do cockatiels make these baby noises? So when they're little, they make these baby noises to call for food or attention from their mother and father. So this is something that carries on long into adulthood. Some cockatiels make it all the way up until they're 10 plus. So owners often misconstrue this noise as something wrong with their cockatiel, when in fact they're just doing their baby noises or calling for your attention. It's also very common for people to mistake baby noises for aggression or anger. And while cockatiels can make a sort of high-pitched squeal or scream when they're angry, it's very rare it's like baby noises, and a lot of people do confuse them because it does sound angry or aggressive. And while it may seem angry or aggression, in reality they're just asking for pets or attention and just want a little bit of affection maybe. So when you listen to the baby noises clips, listen to them carefully because there'll be a big difference between screaming and those noises.
They're good veggies.
The next sound is something I've covered in my other videos on behaviour, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but that is beak grinding. Now when your cockatiel is grinding its beak, it normally means it's getting ready to relax, it's content and it's resting. It could be getting ready to have a little sleep. So this is something that cockatiels do generally when they're relaxing, and it's one of those lovely rewarding sounds because you know your cockatiel is content. My next sound is tongue clicking. Now tongue clicking is something that males only tend to do, and it's something they do as part of a territorial behaviour. It can also be another attention seeking sign. So you need to see it in context of body language. If they're sort of like their crest is down, their wings are spreading, heart wings, they're tongue clicking, it means they're posturing and it's territorial. If they're pretty relaxed and they're tongue clicking, it normally means they just want a bit of attention or they just want to be petted. My next common sound has a lot of variations. It depends on what you've taught your cockatiel, what they've heard around them, but that's singing. And singing tends to be something that only male cockatiels do, and that's generally because singing is a territorial thing. It's also a display thing. They tend to sing when they display their heart wings like that, and they'll sort of like march around and make funny sort of postures. And it just means they're sort of like marking their territory, they're singing for a mate, they're singing for attention. And it's quite cute, there's sort of many sort of songs you can teach your cockatiel that they'll perform and display while they're singing. My next sound is screaming. Now, screaming again comes in many different forms. For example, some cockatiels will scream by flock calling over and over again very loudly. Fish, when he's screaming, as you'll see in the clip later, likes to imitate a fire alarm. So this is something they'll do when they're alarmed, when they're agitated, or when they're doing territorial behaviour again. So they'll march around and they'll scream. So it's something to, again, keep in mind in relation to their body language. If his crest is right up, he's looking around alert and he's screaming, that means something has scared him. It could be a bird outside the window, it could be something you're doing, it could be all sorts of factors. If he's marching around and screaming or chasing his brother, which these guys both do, it normally means it's a territorial behaviour and it's like, I'm the boss man, this is my place to be. There you go. My next sound is barking. Now, barking, we describe it as barking because it kind of sounds like that. And this tends to be something that we haven't seen very often. So I know that our R2 do it, we've heard it a couple of other times, and it's quite interesting. Your cockatiel may have a different variant of it. Again, this tends to be a male-only thing because, again, it's territorial behaviour, it's mating behaviour. So barking, as I just said, is normally a territorial behaviour. It can also be a hormonal behaviour. So if they're going into sort of like cracks and crevices and they're barking lots, it may be something you want to discourage because it could be encouraging hormonal behaviour. We also have hissing. Now, hissing is something that all cockatiels do, and it's something to be very mindful of when you're watching your cockatiel's behaviour. Sometimes hissing can be a territorial thing. For example, Fish and Chip will go into the corner of their cage and hiss, because they're sort of marking it as their place. More commonly though, hissing tends to be something related to fear or discomfort or stress. So if your cockatiel is rocking back and forth and hissing, it means it is scared, it means it is stressed, and it means you should back off. It's not something that's really should be considered funny. I know some people do think it's funny, but it's really not, and it's something you need to be highly aware of. If your cockatiel is hissing, it is stressed, you need to just back off and sort of look at why it's stressing. It's also very commonly exhibited in females when they're guarding their eggs. So if you approach their eggs, they'll start hissing and rocking back and forth. So you need to be very aware of this and maybe sort of watch them from a distance if you're trying to check on the eggs and see how they're doing. The last sound I'm going to cover in this video is chatting. Now, chatting is something that all cockatiels will tend to do, and it can be variable when they do it. They may not want to do it for ages, then suddenly they'll start doing it. Other times, they may be chatting all the time. Most commonly, cockatiels start to chat when they're trying to listen to songs, learning things, and they're sitting and relaxing. So, for example, Fish and Chip will sit on their bowls when it's getting darker, and they'll start chatting, practicing how to say the words. Flock calling loudly because the sun's getting bright, flying around. But anyway, they'll continue to chat and learn sort of words and noises, and it normally is a precursor for resting or starting to sing. So when you're cockatiel chatting, it's very interesting to listen to what they're saying, because this is the time they may start showing you some of the words and songs they may have learned. It's also a lot more common in young males, because young males are learning how to speak and sing, and they're first learning how to find their voice almost. They'll chat a lot more than older cockatiels. So guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. I've tried to cover as many sounds and give as accurate description of them as possible. If you have any more sounds you'd like to know about or that we can help you with, please feel free to leave a comment in the description. Again, you can see now a perfect example of screaming, flock calling. They're screaming for attention, they're screaming because the sun's out. But anyway, in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Take care and have a great day.